My name is Aisha, and for the longest time, I believed that helping someone in need was always the right thing to do. I never imagined that one decision, made out of kindness, would almost cost me my peace, my marriage, and my sense of self. It started when my friend Nina called me late one night. She had just gone through a painful breakup. No job. No savings. No place to stay. She sounded broken. I have nowhere to go, she said. Just for a few weeks, until I get back on my feet. I didn't even hesitate. I spoke to my husband, and together we agreed to let her stay with us temporarily. We had a spare room. We had stability. And I had a soft heart. At first, everything seemed fine. Nina cried a lot. I listened. She slept late. I told myself she was healing. She didn't help around the house. I told myself she was depressed. But slowly, things began to change. She started spending more time in the living room when my husband came home from work. Laughing loudly. Dressing differently. Asking him for help with small things she could easily do herself. I noticed the shift before I wanted to admit it. She would interrupt our conversations. Sit between us during dinner. Make small comments like, "You're lucky he's so patient, not all husbands are like that." At first, I brushed it off. Then came the late nights. I'd walk into the kitchen and find them talking while I was putting the kids to bed. Nothing inappropriate, at least not openly, but something felt wrong. My home no longer felt peaceful. I felt tense. On edge. Like a guest in my own marriage. The worst part? She started planting doubts. One evening, after my husband went to bed, Nina looked at me and said quietly, "Do you ever feel like he doesn't really listen to you?" That sentence stayed with me. She began subtly criticizing my parenting. My choices. My marriage. And every time I confronted her gently, she would cry and say, "I didn't mean it like that. You're just sensitive." That's when I realized something important. Not everyone who enters your home enters with good intentions. The breaking point came one night when my husband and I had our first serious argument in years, over something small, something that had never bothered us before. In the middle of it, Nina walked into the room. She didn't leave. She stood there, watching. That night, I couldn't sleep. And for the first time, I asked myself a question I should have asked earlier. Why am I sacrificing my peace to save someone who refuses to respect my boundaries? The next morning, I did something I had been avoiding. I sat Nina down. Calmly. Firmly. Without anger. I told her the truth. That my home had become uncomfortable. That my marriage mattered more than her convenience. That helping her did not mean allowing her to cross emotional lines. I gave her 2 weeks to find another place. She didn't cry this time. She got angry. She accused me of being selfish. Of choosing a man over friendship. But here's the lesson I learned the hard way. Protecting your marriage is not selfish. Protecting your peace is not cruel. And setting boundaries is not betrayal. Nina moved out. And slowly, my home returned to what it once was. Quiet. Safe. Loving. My marriage survived, but only because I chose to act before it was too late. If this story resonated with you, have you ever helped someone who crossed boundaries and disturbed your peace? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else.